Hey guys, and welcome to Flashback Generations. In this video I thought I'd do a how to play and the rules for AVP The Hunt Begins. So to start with, this is probably a good guide for new players and players who have probably bought the game but haven't read the rules yet, players that are looking for an overview of the game, or people who are thinking about buying it but don't know if it's for them. So here we go, the rules to AVP The Hunt Begins. To start with, you've got three factions: the aliens, predators and humans, as you're probably aware. Each faction's got its own little tricks and trades. So to start with, each faction will get its own deck. What happens at the start of every turn, you'll get dealt 5 of these. You have to have 5 of them in your hand. If you have more, then you have to discard down to 5. If you've got less, then you go up to 5. These cards have 2 effects. You can either play them in between a character's activation, or you can use them as the card specifies. So it might be something adjusting your armor, or when someone's about to attack you, then you use these cards. You can use 2 of them a turn. They're all very faction specific and you won't actually know what they do until you actually have the game in your hand. So you can ignore them. There's also other cards here. So you get the what happens is every turn the first player will draw a card, and something will happen, be it close combat modifiers come in, range modifiers come in, maybe all the doors get stuck. Anything can really happen. Maybe nothing happens. It's a random element of the game, and means that no 2 games are the same. And the third thing, the last deck of cards, we get these custom missions. So if you played through and you're looking to make your own missions for whatever reason, each faction has its own stack of tokens here, as you can see. So I'll start with the predators. So the predators get these, these are all your ping tokens. So when you start the game, none of you can actually see each other. So we'd be placing them down. So the aliens here, for example, nobody has a line of sight to them. Your line of sight is direct lines. Okay, so no looking around corners, unless you're the cheaty Marines perhaps. But as soon as 2 of these tokens come into line of sight with each other, you reveal them both and you place the corresponding models down. You are allowed look at these tokens yourself at any time, so it's not cheating to look at your own faction. The predators have sneaky ones. The predators have these mimic cries, so they can go around and actually put down fake guys of themselves, so the humans and aliens don't actually know which ones are the real predators. The pictures on the predators all correspond with their cards, so you always know which one's actually been revealed. So there to there, for instance, that's the same picture. Okay, the predators, they get wound tokens. So predators, as being burly mighty warriors, they've got loads of lives, so they get 3 wounds each. And the other pile, they get these, some missions might declare that the predators need to get winning award tokens. So these are the tokens that they get. I usually put them down as saying that you've scanned a room and whatever, but the extra tokens. Every faction has the same thing. So here's the alien ones, and here's the marine ones. To just, they're your reward tokens. The humans probably look alike to every other species. So when a human gets revealed, you reveal a token and you actually choose which one of your models you want to place down, as opposed to the predators or aliens, which are very specific to the models. So the aliens have the juniors or the hounds. I'll start off with something pretty simple. All these cards are pretty much the same. So this is an alien infant warrior. So when we go through this, you can see at the top it tells you what it is. Like I mentioned before, you get the picture that corresponds with the picture. So when there was a blip upside down, a ping token, that it would have been like that, and then you switch it up when it gets sighted. So we got the name of it. Here is the weapon. So an alien obviously only has this type of alien only has one weapon. So it's got claws and teeth, as you know. Strength 10, ROA is rate of attack, and AVP. So the AVP is anti-vehicle rating. So the vehicles aren't in the game yet, so you can completely ignore that for now. ST10 and ROA2. ROA2, I'll start with that, is ROA is rate of attack. So that's how many dice. This is a D20 game, so that's how many dice you'd be rolling per attack. So in this case, you would have 2. Some of the predators have a ROA 4, so you can use 4 dice, and there's quite a lot of ROA 1, which is you just roll 1. So, and then you got the ST10, that's the strength of the attack. Now this whole game is based on the D20, as I said. So if you're looking at the way D&D works, it's very similar to that. So you've got 1 is the best possible roll you're going to get. 1 is a hit, you get a critical on anything you hit. If you roll a 1, they cannot heal themselves and they have no armor save. As opposed to the flip side, you roll a 20, you have certainly missed, you lose your extra actions, and it's just bad news. So the 20 is all as a fail, 1 is all as a succeed. So 10 is borderline in the middle. The same with this guy's strength 10. So when you get a 10, there's no modifiers either way. So a strength otherwise, a lot of weapons in this game are strength 12. Now strength 12 essentially is 2 higher than 10. So that would be +2. So that's +2 to the damage that you're going to be doing, which I'll cover in a second. And likewise, if you were only strength 8, which shotgun or some range weapons or special cards might be strength 8, then instead you get your armor becomes better. So let's go through the stats down the side. First we have M. That's the movement. Typically every creature is going to be M1. So M1 means that you can move 1. So this guy here, he can move 1 if that's what he chooses to do with his action. Every creature here, sorry I should mention, has 2 actions. So, and you cannot duplicate your actions. So you can't just decide to move 1 and move 1. There is a run action which is move 2, so there is double actions. You can look up online what you can do with your actions. It's probably easier than me explaining. So M1 is just you can move 1 square. Same with Zombicide or whatever. You got board sections, so you can move in 1 to 1 piece. The only exception here is probably these pipes. This will cost you 2 to get through it, unless you're a tiny creature, which is a facehugger. Facehugger can actually land there and sit in there and end his turn. Everyone else, small creatures can move through there. Small being anything on a 30mm base, which is the humans, the 2 types of aliens you get with the board game. Not the predators, they're on a 40mm base. So as well as that, there's the 50mm bases, which are going to be even bigger, and then there's going to be gigantic, which is no base, which would be vehicles, I imagine, in the future. So moving on, we got CC, so we got a close combat score. So the CC of this alien is 15. What that means is if this alien here is in close combat with this marine here, which she is, if you wanted to spend one of your actions to doing a combat action, what you need to do is you need to roll 15 or less on this dice. Now, some of these cards, the marine player might put in cards to change the modifier, or you might put in some. It can really change the game how you do it. So if I rolled a 16 there, that would have been a miss. The alien can't do anything. Sorry, his ROA is 2, so I get to roll 2 dice. Oh, 16 and 18. So he misses with both of them anyway. So let's say he had hit them. Alright, we'll go again. Yeah, 3 out of 5, that's better. So what would happen then is I've got the 2 attacks that landed on the marine. Now it's up to the marine to try and defend that. So I'll get one of these marine, he's the motion tracker guy. So what happens then is this alien, he had strength 10, so there's no modifier there on his armor. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight down to his armor. So his armor of the marine is 13. So that's a bog standard. What you're going to need to do is roll a 13 or less. I rolled a 2, so that's fine. Now you can see the way that could easily get modified with strength modifiers in there. There's quite a lot of cards that will do additional damage to that too. Range skill. Exactly the same thing, but it's happening with, get this Marine back. He's RS-14, so you're trying to shoot, you need a 14 or less with the pulse rifle. See the pulse rifle there, it's got ROA 1, so rate of attack 1, it's got strength 12, so that would modify the armor on the alien. And the alien's armor is 13, so that would go down to 11 if he was hit by that pulse rifle attack. Alright, next we got ST, Con, LD. Those three are pretty much all the same thing. They are tests that you need to make throughout the game. Now they don't always come into play, but cards might affect them, or they might have to do it based on what they're attacking or what's happening around the board. Basically, it's not something I can just explain how they work, because they're tests that need to be taken at specific times. W1, wound 1, everyone's 1 wound except for the predators. They're 3 wounds because they're really, really beefy. It should probably be noted as well that when the aliens die, you get a blood token that will sprout out. You roll a die on a 1 to 5. That acid will actually, the alien player gets to nominate someone who takes it, so usually straight back at the Marine, very fluffy. And then we did the armor as well. Also, basically the important thing is knowing what your armor value is of your troop compared with the strength modifier. Every card as well is very handily has the keywords of what they actually do, and it's all written on the back, which is a godsend because there's quite a lot to remember. So rather than flicking through the big book, which is pretty big, yeah, it's a pretty chunky book with everything in it. You can actually just look through and read what they do. It's some of it I've actually found to be a little bit abbreviated, but as long as you know the main context of it, it's a good reminder. So next up, let's go and look at the tiles. So what this is here is just an entrance for the predators. There's no bonuses, no pluses or minuses. There's nothing special there. What we have here is a normal corridor. Normal corridors give bonuses to Marines because of their extensive training. So Marines in there, or in fact in any of the larger rooms, there's a few of these things that look a bit different, but the Marines get, they're harder to hit, so they're -4 to their close combat. So those aliens that were needed a 15, they suddenly need an 11 to hit. Much harder. Next up, the aliens have some love as well, so they've got their spawning areas. In these areas you can put down these tokens and hide them in the area. If they hide, then people have a -10 modifier to shoot at them, which is pretty disgusting. They can also, while they're sitting in here, they get a -4 naturally. That's to shoot at them. So the aliens very much benefit from being in one of these areas. Next I'll run through the tokens. So so we have various tokens here. So we got 2 very similar looking A's. One is actually army and one's alien. The alien one's a little more jagged. I don't know why they didn't have C, but whatever. What these are is you put these down when these characters are activated. So after you move somebody, if this alien say moves to there and attacks and he doesn't do anything, then you get one of these A tokens, you put it down on top of his base to say he's activated. The same with the A for the military guys, and the predators have the weird predator one. The other 2 ones, you got a H. These guys on the aliens, they got a hide, so they can't just be. So you know when they've actually got the modifier on them. They can also transform back into their ping version of themselves, so they can actually hide and remove them again. And the last one is the S. Every model has the S ability. What the S is sentry. So what you can do is you can hold back one of your tokens and you put this on, say, this predator here. Now at any point he can actually interrupt an enemy's turn and actually shoot. Shooting through engaged squares is -2 per square. So if this predator here wanted to shoot it there, he'd be -2 and -4. So he would be a tough shot with that. The other thing that, if this predator decides to try and shoot in with this guy, it's a -10 modifier for shooting in with an engaged model. If this predator here, he wants to leave to get to this square to join with this guy, he would actually need to make a close combat test to leave the square in the first place. If he fails, it's a wasted action. He could even fail really badly if he rolls a 20, in which case he wastes all his actions. So otherwise, this guy is going to be stuck engaged with that guy. His options are close combat him, leave the square, or throw his disc. If you throw, as a special action with the throw the disc, it's not so bad. Other ranged fighters have a tougher time because they've actually got the modifiers included. So as I said earlier, you only get one action a turn, so you can't actually be no double shots with the plasma cannon or no double attacks with the aliens, which is quite frankly annoying, but it would make all the ranged fighters a lot stronger. The Marines have a lot more interesting abilities. They can they have ways to modify their to chances +4, and they can actually do extra attacks. They have a variety of skills across the board, as well as the shooting around corners. They've got flamethrowers, they've got rerolls with their to hit. I mean, the Marines really came packed well. However, in close combat, they're not so hot. So without actually reading the entire rulebook to you, that's a very broad overview of how the game works. You'd need to really look at the rulebook and read through each weapon, how different guys work, and what actions you have available, such as one action from a predator can open the door, the aliens can't open doors. There's a lot of little rules in the game. I wouldn't say it's an easy game to play, but I wouldn't say it's a difficult one. It's very it's borderline, but every game is actually a lot of fun. It's very thematic, and there's all these variety of cards make it quite funny. I tried out playing a 3-player game, and I had to say that the 3 of us really enjoyed it. I think that's the way we're going to play it from now on. If there's anything else you want to know about it, please drop us a line below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's been helpful, and we'll see you next time. See you later, guys.